we're going to take a look at Ethiopia because Amnesty International has called on the authorities to reveal what has happened to dozens of politicians and journalists, among several thousand people recently arrested following an upsurge in protests and violence. That wave of arrests followed the murder of a popular Oromo protest singer, Hachalu Hundessa, at the end of June. His killing led to intercommunal violence and clashes with police, which left about 200 people dead. So what's behind all this? We're joined by the Ethiopian journalist, Zacharias Zelalem, who works with the Addis Standard. Welcome to NewsHour.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
First of all, explain to us about what happened with these protests, which were quite unusual. Several thousand people arrested.
Yeah, around 5,000 people to be precise. So as you said at the top of your program, the murder of a renowned musician and rights activist, Hachalu Hundessa, on June 28th triggered weeks of chaos and communal violence that tragically led to the passing of hundreds of people. So since then, there have been protests by different communities, in particular the Oromo, who have been lambasting the government for its perceived inability to issue justice, whether it's the killers of Hachalu Hundessa or the killers of Oromo civilians in different parts of the country, as there is an ongoing civil war in parts of Oromia. So frustration has really boiled over in recent weeks, and combined with the government roundups of different journalists, activists, and protesters, the Oromo is really at odds with the federal government currently.
So the death of a popular singer who used his music for Oromo rights seemed to have become a lightning rod for people's long-standing anger. But what about the issue that the government says that he was killed by 3 Oromo men, so people within his own community? They're saying that that means that there's infighting within the community. Is that a separate issue?
Well, the government is yet to provide concrete evidence for its version of events. I mean, it is also being criticized by the likes of Amnesty for using the opportunity to round up a number of Oromo activists, independent journalists, and opposition politicians. So in the eyes of many Oromo, it sort of dents the credibility of the government's version of events when it claims that a faction of an Oromo armed group carried out the killing. As of yet, the trial has not commenced for the three suspects that the government said are behind the killings. It's in the past, the Ethiopian government has had a track record of holding opposition voices in incarceration on trumped-up charges. It's what it has been renowned for in recent years.
We have just about 15-20 seconds. Do you think they'll listen to Amnesty calling for their release?
Probably for the very high-profile detainees, perhaps, but there are thousands behind bars, and there's no guarantee that they will get the due process that the Constitution would normally guarantee them.
Zacharias Zelalem, I wish we had more time, but thank you very much for highlighting this very important issue in Ethiopia.